I want to say hello around the bend here. Amanda Rice, she's a fire protection supervisor at Spaeder. And say hi there, Amanda. Appreciate it.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. Thank you so much. We also want to say hello to Christina Huff, a buyer at William T. Spaeder. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Joel.
Great to have you here. Stephanie Carr, a billing specialist at Spaeder. Good to have you, Stephanie.
Thank you for having us.
All righty. And Dr. Sue Kulagowski, she's the executive director at Erie Dawn. Great to have you, Dr. Sue.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we're here to talk with this special group of women. We have from the William T. Spaeder Company, representing an internal company unit called the W.I.S.E Group, and we're going to talk about how this group was formed and what their mission is, and also how they've been a big part of in helping this, Erie Dawn and their mission for supporting low-income women and children. So, Amanda, let's talk about the W.I.S.E Group at William T. Spaeder.
Okay, so WISE is an acronym. It stands for Women Inspiring Spaeder Excellence. A couple years ago, Mary Kay, she is our CFO at Spaeder. She invited a group of women from our company, including myself, to go to a W.I.S.E conference. W.I.S.E is Women in the Mechanical Industry, and that is a part of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America. We went to Austin, Texas that year. When we returned from the trip, we learned that our area didn't have a chapter, so we just formed our own group internally within the company. Women played a role in the company since the beginning. William T. had 3 daughters that worked for Spaeder, and through the years, the company has seen women take up leadership roles. As women, we only make up 10% of the company's employees, but we don't go unseen. Mm-hmm. We're determined to continue that legacy of women working at Spaeder. The W.I.S.E Group Committee has set out to support and mentor women within our company, our industry, and our community. Spaeder has a history of giving to charities, and we decided to focus our efforts on supporting local organizations that provide assistance to women and children.
So let's talk about the work with Erie Dawn. Christina, why did you choose Erie Dawn this year?
Well, we like the vision of the Sisters of St. Joseph, the Sisters of Mercy, and the Benedictine Sisters. Their vision was to provide a hand up to women with or without children that were homeless or that were about to be homeless. Mm-hmm. That's what really drew our attention to Erie Dawn. They provide stable housing to those women as they work their way through Erie Dawn's very intense program. Each of those clients receive guidance successfully to be successful personally and professionally. They help them get training or into school so they can have a career to be able to support their families. Some of those clients that have gone through the program even come back to be mentors for the new participants, supporting those women on the journey to be stable, and they're just striving for success within themselves and their families. That's really why we chose Erie Dawn.
It's like moving to self-sufficiency. Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit more about that with Dr. Sue. Stephanie, I wanted to ask you about what kind of support you at the W.I.S.E Group at Spaeder was able to provide for Erie Dawn.
So we've done a couple of different functions. In the spring, we did a donation drive where we collected items that were essential. We did welcome back baskets for some of their clients so they could move into their home or apartments, from personal care to cleaning supplies, that kind of stuff. There was a lot of generosity within the company. Spaeder donated. In the summer, Spaeder has an annual golf outing, and W.I.S.E with Erie Dawn, we had a whole 14, I think, that whoever came through could give donations. Cool. We had someone from Erie Dawn there with us that spoke to the golfers and talked to them and told them what they do and everything. So it was a really good balance that we got everybody involved in. So we did Shred for the Homeless. So we, at Erie Dawn, the Shred truck came and people came and we took donations, and they took their shredding away. Those are the three main ones. And the last one that we had was actually, Christina was highly involved with our vendors. We have West End Hardware, which is one of them, and they donated toolkits so that these women can have supplies to help maintain their own new homes and learn some of their own skills. Toolboxes and tools, so they had their own.
Yeah, to
kits.
be able to,
to be
do
self-sufficient.
DIY.
DIY it.
While they're,
days.
fixing something or something. Let's give the mic to Dr. Sue here. Was it interesting and surprising for you to hear from a contracting group like W.I.S.E. Spaeder there?
Actually, it was a little bit. There's a few businesses that we work with on a regular basis. Working with W.I.S.E. Spaeder was new this year, and actually came at the perfect timing, to be honest. In 2020, we became our own entity, so we still work with the three orders of the sisters, but we're on our own now, and that came with a lot of changes. So we've done since that time a lot of just organizational changes, and they, the sisters still work with us, pretty intensely, and some of them are still on our board of directors. But with those changes, it was a lot of strategic planning and a lot of, just trying to, really navigate, since the pandemic as well, how to, become a lot more innovative and how to work in the community. I became newer in the role there as well, and a lot of new staff. So just a lot of those changes and shifts in working with different businesses. So they approached us, honestly, at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because on our end, on Erie Dawn's end, it was, different properties and how to go about this. And so, I had different staff coming in that are brand new, trying to outsource a lot of things as well, and trying to really cut costs on a lot of things and really be budget friendly with things. And so they approached us, and really at the time it was just, really in the scope of, come in and do a presentation. It was a group of women at, in kind of a male-dominated business. And they said, come in, talk to us about, what you do. You're a women-focused business, or you're a nonprofit. And I said, sure, I'll come in and talk about Erie Dawn to anybody. Yeah. So went in and talked to this, amazing group of women. And afterward they said, it sounds like you need a little bit of help. And I said, of course, anytime.
Right.
And they said, after talking, we want to help you with some things. And I said, I will take the help anytime. and so they really started planning and kind of plotting out the year for us. And I don't know that they understand really the impact that they had on us, and came at such a significant time. I think that happens a lot, maybe, that we don't always realize in the world of, when you have those moments that you're kind of down a little bit. And we had so much focus in more of the, like I said, the strategic planning and the business aspect of where do we go and what are we doing, and trying to really map out the future of Erie Dawn, and trying to get more into, our planning and our business and more properties and how to do all that. And so our focus wasn't necessarily this year in, events and in fundraising, which nonprofits it needs to be. So they really stepped up and did above and beyond. I mean, they're amazing to work with. In a sense, what they're doing, and then our mission, it just really went hand in hand. Trying to get our women to the place of self-sufficiency and into, a lifestyle and a career, that they are able to, just work in fields that they can, when I say self-sufficiency, just be in these spaces that they can pay their bills, they can maintain their lifestyles, they have a great career option. That is key. That's what we're trying to do, because we don't want their, them to kind of come back into any kind of a system, or whether it's breaking cycles of poverty or whatever the obstacles are. There's people going into homeless situations or in-house situations for many, many reasons. And it can happen to any of us. And a lot of us have those support systems. A lot of our clients don't, or they're just, for whatever reason, there isn't, that. And so truly, they stepped up at the perfect time and have gone above and beyond throughout the entire year. So it was just perfect timing, perfect opportunity, and a really great relationship. So it's not the norm that always happens, but, businesses in the community, that step up, it makes such an impact on nonprofits. So I'm so grateful.
That's fantastic. I'll throw this out to any one of you ladies. We're in a competitive culture for workforce, right? I'm interested in how the WISE group and also this kind of effort makes William T. Spaeder more attractive, for people that might want to come work for you, and building like that culture that's that's open for women to advance themselves. Anybody jump on that?
So I started at Spaeder 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like a nice foot in the door. I had some construction in my background, some field experience in my background, which was helpful, but I feel like they've given me the opportunity, you find a position that you can get your foot in the door, an opportunity to really grow and learn and become an expert in a field, so that you can feel good about what you're doing and confident about what you're doing. Like I said, we have 10% of the employees are women, but we have formed this group and we all support each other. And if you're having an off day, you can go up to pretty much any woman in the company and get support, no matter what the problem is. I just feel like this has been one of my best experiences in a workplace, as far as having a group of people that I can rely on.
I mean, I would imagine, again, when you're working towards something greater than even just the job, like the
Yes.
WISE group and these fundraising efforts, it just builds a solid culture, which again, a family-owned company, 110 years old,
Right.
already is known for that, right? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, our company has been around for 110 years. We've supported a lot of families in the Erie area. I actually started there as the front desk person, the receptionist, and I started helping in the purchasing department, just learning some things. And then after COVID, they needed help in the purchasing department and asked me to step over. So I've just learned along the way and progressed to being a buyer. And if it wasn't for Spaeder's support, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm very thankful and grateful to the William T. Spaeder Company and all the opportunities they do give us. And it's not just the women that have the opportunity there. It's every employee.
that's cool. Stephanie, you have anything to add there as far as, just the idea of, building corporate culture through philanthropy and working with folks like Erie Dawn,
Well, I think with like Erie Dawn, I mean, I think there has been more of a push. I mean, the WISE group has taken on Erie Dawn. Spaeder itself does a lot of other philanthropy. We do a lot of other fundraisers and stuff for everybody else. But I think just to sort of go off of what Amanda said, the 10%, you never feel like, even if it's a male-dominated, we have techs out in the field that are female. We have pipe fitters that are female. It's not that are still Spaeder. It's not just accounting or something like that. I mean, it's a good culture. But as far as philanthropy, I mean, they're great. They'll help out. I mean, even employees' children. Hey, can you help out with so and so's? Whatever fundraiser the school's doing, right? A Spaeder sign here. I think we're at the Sea Wolves. We do. I mean, it's obviously advertising, but
Sure.
it's whatever they can do for the
out in the
for
country,
the employees.
in the
They do go well beyond.
One more question for Dr. Sue here. Again, when you think about impact, and you kind of referred to this already, but impact that the WISE group and working with Spaeder has had on your organization, do you think that it's something that will continue to grow? And
Oh, definitely. And I have to say too, one of my favorite words is impact.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's so important. In trying to any kind of a project and what we're trying to do, and actually just personally, professionally, what I'm trying to do and what Erie Dawn's trying to do is really making that impact in people's lives. So I'm glad you mentioned that, brought that up.
Yeah.
But most definitely, and even I kind of want to bring up too. We have someone that was a previous client who's become a mentor of ours for other women. We have a peer mentoring group, and she's actually in the trade field. And because what we have found too is we don't just promote in our self-sufficiency that we're promoting with our women. that the pathway doesn't just have to be going to schooling for something. I'm talking like higher education in a sense. It can be anything, because the trades are an amazing field.
Absolutely.
I mean, they could pay very well, and so we want to get more women in those lines of work, that they become self-sufficient, and and they don't have to rely on others for that. And so we had this woman we've worked with for a long time. She's done extremely well. She's a peer mentor, and she came to us, to kind of receive one of the donations that these ladies, through W.I.S.E have done, and they were just talking about that in a sense, because she's in the trades.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a cool, and we did that on purpose. I don't know if they realized that, but we did it on purpose, and we brought her with us, because it was like just a really neat connection, just to kind of really show that there's so many women in the fields and in the community doing these things. And so, really kind of just to show that, the similarities of all that, and the similarities between all of us. But, kind of in regard to the impact, it's so important to have these connections between, I think so often, the businesses, connect, and the nonprofits connect, but really having that bridge between the businesses and the nonprofits, I think, is really where we're seeing a big difference in our communities. And we need to have those relationships. And sometimes it literally is just a phone call or an email that says, hey, can you come in? Can you do a presentation? Can you do this? And look what it's done. I mean, it's really gone above and beyond of these relationships and them stepping up. I have a feeling that they're going to really continue their work, and them forming W.I.S.E and really moving on, and probably our relationship too in our communication, because they could probably reach out to me with anything and I'd say, whatever you need, is what I would do too. On our end, we're growing, and so there's going to be different things that we will need, and it might not always be fundraising things. It could be, or whatever. But I mean, there's probably even just different building things that we're going to be doing that I know from working with them that I'll be contacting them, because I know them. It's a relationship. I trust them. I know their work. I know these women. So I think that there's a lot of things like that to be said too. So impact is great, but I also kind of like that ripple effect. I think that that's really huge. It really kind of trickles out in the Erie community. It's a small community, we're kind of tight knit, but it's also a big community, and really does kind of ripple out. So, I really encourage anybody that's listening to consider that. Any business, big or small, William T. Spaeder is a little bit, bigger of a company, and they have a big reach, which is incredible. But I mean, I think it could be anybody that just kind of make that difference. But they've been wonderful to work with, and I would speak their praises to anybody. I mean, they're great. So, and it really has been them just trying to get creative. The connection with, the work that we do with transitional housing, what they do really with, building and putting things in place.
There's a lot of synergy there.
There really is. It's been a cool partnership.
I think we have gotten as much out of working with Erie Dawn as Erie Dawn has gotten out of working with us. I think we really have enjoyed our partnership this year, and I think we've all felt that we've done something that we all strive to do.
Fantastic.
To help them. Yeah.
We want to thank you, Amanda Rice and Christina Huff, Stephanie Carr, all from William T. Spaeder, and Dr. Sue Kulagowski, Executive Director of Erie Dawn. Thank you for all your work. Again, helping young women and being able to be amazing community partners. Appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
It is 3:53 on Talk Erie.